Hey YouTube, it's Kristie, your favorite psychic medium here on the YouTube channels, and I'm here to do a psychic reading for the overall collective energy of the world. Okay, so right before starting the reading, I heard, what would Jesus do? And then I heard worldwide juvenile delinquents. Okay, I think Jesus loves the baddies. You know, it's interesting how some people are brought up in different environments or living situations than others, you know, and then the outcomes of that. Okay, so for instance, as a youth, I was at a school and somebody gave me a wristband and it said W.W.J.D. And I was like, what does this mean? What is it? Like, what is this? And they were like, it means worldwide juvenile delinquents. So I was wearing the wristband and I went to a second chance school. That's a school for kids that get kicked out of school. You know, you get kicked out of school because you have pedophiles as teachers and stuff like that. You know. So I'm over here rocking this wristband thinking that it means worldwide juvenile delinquents. And it really meant, what would Jesus do? So I don't know how long it was. I had it on for some time and then somebody was like, oh, nice. What would Jesus do? And I, over my head, I had no idea what they were talking about. They were like, the wristband. And I just thought that was interesting. From that point on, fast forward to now, like, what am I getting at with this? Jesus loves baddies, all right? Jesus, why am I talking about Jesus? Jesus. All right. Anybody new to my channel, I am an actual psychic medium, and I'm actually here to actually help you people to actually better yourselves in this actual world. And let's actually get started on actually reading tarot cards, okay? Yada, 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 damn. All right, maybe I'm sharing that with you guys for a reason. Also, when you come in here, double tap the screen, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm sharing that for a reason with you guys. Like, don't count yourself out just because like you come from a certain background or environment or religious or, you know, you don't have to believe in Jesus, you know, just got to be a good person. Yeah. Okay. Spirit guides, archangels, ancestors of all, I'm here to guide the beautiful collective energy. Please help me bring a message forward for them today. Yada, 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 damn. Okay. It's hot out there. You know what I'm saying? It is hot out there. You ain't missing out on nothing. Maybe you were invited somewhere to do something or go somewhere and you're just like, nah, I'll hang back. How about I hang back and go do my own thing? Maybe some of you are just like kind of doing your own thing. When normally like people would go somewhere, like, or maybe it's like something, you're doing something big and doing it by yourself. You see? Interesting. Over it. I'm hearing that saying like, I can do better by myself. Better by myself. Better alone. Better alone. Maybe I'm tapping into the collective energy of people that feel more alone around certain others than they do when they're actually alone. Maybe you talk to ghosts. Talk to the ghosts. They're better company. I'm feeling the energy of like solo trips, solo dining. Now we got the Lovers. Or maybe you've been living this lifestyle for a while, or I don't know. I'm not here to make the shoe fit for every fucking person that comes through this. All right? If it don't fit for you, it don't fit for you. Keep going like this. All right? Now we got the Lovers. Maybe you've been at this alone for a while and you're just like, I could be tapping into some people that, you know, were in a lover situation for some time. One way or another, now you're on your own. And you're kind of adjusting to it. Feel less trapped. Five of Pentacles, maybe your money is looking better too. You know. What do they say, that saying, cost of freedom? The sun. How much does your freedom cost? Or how much did it cost? It's priceless. Your freedom's priceless. Okay. The sun, the Chariot. Maybe some of you are getting new cars or planning a trip in the sun. To be honest, you know what I'm feeling too? I am feeling the energy of like motorcycles. This dude's on a motorcycle. Motorcycle. Chica, dude, whatever. Some about motorcycle vibes. Maybe you get a motorcycle to drive on Sundays, you know? Easy like Sunday morning. Sunday morning. Sunday morning. Now I'm thinking like mourning, like a loss. Yeah. I feel like a trio, like 3 is down to 1, okay? Maybe some of you are, you know, packing lighter. Packing lighter. The High Priestess, the 2 of Cups. 3's a crowd. You're going down to 2. Yeah, there could be like a situation to where like instead of like a trio, now it's a duo. Also now we have the High Priestess. There's something to do with what you say, how you say, pomegranate. Pomegranate. Maybe you guys eat pomegranate, or maybe you refer to a color, like a paint color. Instead of saying red or this, you say pomegranate. That's a possibility. I feel the energy of people like looking in on another before approaching them with a cup. Like a water and earth sign. Water and earth. Water and earth. One, two, buckle my shoe. Water and earth. Also, too, I feel like now we got the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, what's that? Got a lot of pentacles. There's a lot of like money deals going on. I feel like there's a lot of transactional things going on, like a lot of money going out, money coming in, you know. Hey everybody, welcome to the chat, double tap. All right, I'm pulling some tarot cards for the overall collective energy of the world. If anybody comes through here and just has some questions, like, you know, ask it and I'll just answer it. You don't got to super chat, you don't got to cash at me, just, you know, subscribe and share and let people know, hey, I found a real fucking psychic. You know, if you want a personal, hit me up for a personal. 9 of Cups of Strength. Maybe some of you out here are leaving like a work environment or like a friend group environment, like narrowing it down. You're more on like the solo journey right now. You hang out with one friend at a time, like you don't do group sessions with people. Something on these matters. Something about like being independent, like doing things by yourself. Like, have you ever viewed a house and bought it alone? Okay, I'm feeling that kind of feeling, you know? Like this 9 of Cups, like this independent, this strong, independent, balanced energy. Where some people are like, oh, I can never do that. I need to ask advice, or that's not advised to do something like that. And maybe it's not, but maybe there are some people out here that feel more comfortable doing things alone because they can't trust advice from other people. You know, maybe I'm tapping into the energy of some people out here that have been ill-advised many times, you know. Also, we pulled the High Priestess, so I'm definitely tapping into energies that are highly in tune and connected to the energy around them, okay? Like, try me. I will pop off and literally buy a home and not tell anybody because it's nobody's fucking business. I have that feeling. Ace of Swords, literally. Literally. 3 times, you know. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm picking up on a very independent. King of Wands. Maybe you're a fire sign. So what do we got so far? We got fire, water, and earth. Is there somebody named Fred? Fred? Frida? Okay, I'm picking up on like a Frida or a Fred. Also, is somebody recently have stitches? Like somebody recently had stitches or recently had stitches removed, star. What's that about? What did you... Don't say that, Christina. Don't say that. All right, anybody have any questions on here? You just lurking. Y'all just lurking? Y'all just lurking? All right, I'm not that crazy about these cards. They're all right. They're all right. They just feel kitty. They feel kitty. I used to say, oh, I'm going to make a tarot deck and blah, blah, blah. If I ever make a tarot deck, I'm going to have like 3 copies, you know? Definitely not going to be something I'm going to be sharing with other people. It's going to be very personal. My deck. This feels kiddie. Feels like I wasted like $28 on this deck. Maybe you guys know a little something about wasting money. How much did I pay for this? $25. Whatever. Let me shuffle it up a little bit and put it back in. It just feels kiddie. Something feels immature about this energy. Maybe you guys out here just like ready to level the fuck up. Look at, we got the High Priestess, the Eight of Cups, the Magician, Ten of Pentacles, okay? I could read it. I'm just saying it just, something just feels like, you know. Maybe you guys are like leveling up on different matters. You know? I'm hearing that song. We started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now we're home. Something on these terms. Maybe like the lifestyle you live right now is like so much different than like the lifestyle you grew up in. It's not just grew up in, but just also like what was expected of you. You know, I'm feeling this. Like people around you probably had little to no expectations on you having any type of positive outcome in your life. Little did they know. Little did they know. Little do they know. Yeah, we got the High Priestess, the Magician, and the Ten of Pentacles. Like, I feel like I'm tapping into people that you are like the keeper. You're like the matriarch, the keeper of all the, what is it called for a man? Like the leader. Even if like people don't recognize it, you really are though. Or admit it, I would say, even if they don't admit it. You really are though. Yay. Where are we clicked at? Oh, that's a magnet. I was like, why is it like that? Okay. That's a magnet. We're here 17 minutes already. Oh my God. Here we go. The Lovers again. Nine of Cups. Maybe some of you are wishing on a star for somebody to love you. Ace of Wands. Seven of Coins. To find out, yeah. And the Sun. Maybe there's some people out here like looking for love, or maybe you guys are like looking for somebody that you do think you love or something. Something about a castle too. You could buy one of those anytime. I met somebody that owned a castle. They owned a coffee shop. And I worked at a day spa next door to it. So I used to go there and get a mocha big train. Okay, maybe some of this applies to you guys. I never talk about this shit. So I used to work at a day spa, and I used to go next door to this coffee shop like daily and get myself a mocha big train. So it was like a coffee frappe kind of thing, but back in the day. And the magnet keeps sticking to that. And the owner of the coffee shop told me the one day how they once owned a castle. Was it in Scotland? There's my memory. My memory is either great or not. It was in another country. It could have been Scotland. But this husband and wife literally owned a castle. They were like, we always want to buy a castle. We bought a castle, yada, yada. And he was like, honestly, wherever they were living, it was cold most of the year. I mean, the castle was beautiful, aesthetically beautiful, and this and that for pictures. But he was like, but to live in there, he was like, it It wasn't what people think it is. It was really cold. And yeah. So he basically like bought a fantasy. So I thought this was like back in the day too. And I was like, oh my God, like that's pretty cool. Like to say, I'm gonna buy a castle one day and like buy a castle. And he did. And he said that they didn't have it very long. They flipped it and sold it because it wasn't, you know, what they actually really wanted. They didn't want to live in it. And he was like, you know, thinking, what could I do with it instead of just letting it sit here? So they sold the castle, and I don't know what they did as far as like a living place, but then they ended up buying this coffee shop they used to go to, but I don't know why I'm sharing that with you guys. I don't know many people that have met somebody that owned a castle or owns a castle. Something about buying a fucking castle. Maybe some of you out here are just like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a dinosaur. I'm just joking. I'm just saying that because I have a little dinosaur right here. You know, or if it could be something to some people, it's like out there, but it's realistic. If you want to buy a castle, buy a castle. But just keep in mind, it might not be like a permanent residence, a year-round residence, because most castles are really fucking cold. You know? The closest thing to a castle I've been into was the Biltmore, and any of you chit-chat with me if you want to chit-chat. The closest thing I've ever been, hi. Have a nice day. You too. Closest thing I've been in a castle, I think it's one of the largest residence or the largest mansions in America. I don't know, don't quote me, but it's really big. The Biltmore Estates in Asheville. Who owned it? Okay. Oh, fuck. Now we're getting into shit. All right, people, take notes. Fitzgerald. Scott Fitzgerald. Scott Fitzgerald. And Zelda Fitzgerald. Zelda, okay. Zelda Fitzgerald has been communicating with me for a few years now. Take it how it applies, okay? No such thing as a coincidence. I tap into the energy of Zelda Fitzgerald pretty often over the years. And I would say when it began is when I toured the mansion castle-like place. Okay, we're getting somewhere, people, at Biltmore Estate. So Biltmore Estate is owned by, fuck. I don't have my phone or anything to Google right now. Biltmore Estate was owned and created by, who was the fucking owners? I think it's like a museum now, I don't know. Okay, so there's a connection, people, pay attention. There's a connection to, for any of you like worldwide cabal investigators out here that tap onto my channel to figure shit out because I'm a psychic. There's a connection with Zelda Fitzgerald and the elites back in that day, the Triangle Club, okay? This goes back into like British fucks too. No offense to the British fucks, but the British fucks, okay? I respect all the accent's sexy, but y'all are sneaky. Y'all are sneaky though, okay? I don't trust the British. No offense, because I don't trust anybody. But there's something to do with the Triangle Club. I'm doing one triangle into another triangle. The Triangle Club with connection to Scott Fitzgerald. So Scott Fitzgerald, this is fucking crazy, actually. Let me just share with you guys. Let me rip the Band-Aid off. So when I started tapping into the energy of Zelda and Scott Fitzgerald was I've been to the Biltmore House a few times, but one of my tours at the Biltmore House, I started feeling the energy of Zelda. I'm like, Zelda, Zelda. I was thinking about the video game at first, then I was like, no. But anyway, like a lot of like rich, famous people back in the day would go travel all the way down to Asheville, North Carolina or people all over the world too, to go have these elite psychopathic masquerade parties down there in this mansion-like castle, okay? Take notes, people. So there's connections to all this because there's spooky, dooky, creepy stuff in that area, okay? So fast forward, I start looking into Zelda Fitzgerald. I'm like, why am I feeling her energy pull on me? Like she wants to communicate with me. So I also find out that a park that I like to go to in Nashville, I lived in Nashville for a few years. A park that I used to like to go to was across the street from the property where Zelda Fitzgerald supposedly burned to death in a lockdown facility. Okay? Zelda Fitzgerald is Scott Fitzgerald's wife. He was in LA, Hollywood at the time. His wife was back in Asheville, North Carolina, around the corner from the big party mansion, Biltmore Estate, okay? Follow along, people. And she was basically Baker acted, basically placed into a mental institution, supposedly was voluntarily, she was there, but you know, whatever. She was eccentric, she knew shit. She was extra. This is Zelda Fitzgerald. But ultimately, what is, you know, in the records is that she burnt to death in this place in Asheville, right across the street from a park I used to hang out at. Not hang out, but I used to walk around the park. And I thought all that was weird, okay? Moving forward. I moved out that area, moved to a few different areas. I would say about, I don't know, sometime later, I end up living in Alabama, okay? True story, people. So fast forward from me being in Asheville, picking up on the energy of Zelda Fitzgerald trying to communicate with me. Now I'm living in Alabama. And there was one day I was like, let me go check out cathedrals. I like churches. I like to see churches in different areas, and they're just beautiful. And I was like, let me go check out this church. So I go to check out this church. I'm driving around the neighborhood, and then I see a sign saying Zelda, home of Zelda Fitzgerald. So I go in, I go on a tour, get the chills, I feel her energy all over me. So now, fast forward, I am in a random place in Alabama, down the street from a nice church, cobblestone neighborhood, really pretty. And I'm in a house that Zelda Fitzgerald lived with her husband, Scott Fitzgerald, and their child, and had parties and shit. Okay? Follow along, people. And in this house, now a museum, there was a display box, like a glass display box. And did I take pictures? I don't know, but I know I definitely have a notebook on all this. There's something on the lines where there's a connection. Basically, I was starting to pick up on her and her husband had a connection to the psychopathic elites of the world, okay? Whatever you want to call it. We're the psychopaths, okay? Whatever. They're great, they're grand, we're the psychopaths, whatever they want to call it. And in this display case was, is it Oxford? Some university in England, okay? Scott Fitzgerald attended, or he had friends at, or something, and it was called the Triangle Club, okay? This is dating back to like the 1930s or some shit. Something, look into the Triangle Club, people. What would Jesus do? Whatever that means. Okay, Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, I got over that. Okay, and I was picking up on the energy of Zelda Fitzgerald, the Wheel of Fortune. Sounds like rambling, but it means something. Page of Swords, the Devil. going into the dungeon. Three of Cups. Also, too, we were talking about freaking castles. Now we got to this, the Fool. Honestly, you know what I advise these people out here to do? Don't even buy a castle, just rent it out. Rent out the castle for like a month. You know, rent out the castle, make sure there's no, whatever the contract is, there's no contingencies on videoing or photographing, and have fun in the castle during. Why am I thinking about being cold? Reconnecting? Okay. That's interesting. So my internet just went off and came back on this YouTube. That was weird. Okay. Something about don't buy the castle, rent it out. Or better yet, if you're interested in a castle, maybe build your own. There's something with triangles. Maybe you want a triangle on top of your castle. Now I'm thinking about clowns. That's funny. Yeah, I wouldn't buy the castle. Not an older castle. A castle in a moat. Build your own castle. Build your own castle. Something about, also, everything's a metaphor for something else. This also could be in connection to something like, leave the past in the past, fuck all the old folk stuff, all this, you know. Build your own bricks. Somehow creating your own. Yeah. If I was interested in a castle to live in, I would highly advise, as a psychic, supernatural seer, I truly advise you just creating your own, whatever this means. Maybe you guys, maybe this castle is like your home. Instead of buying, let me just tell you this, in the area where I'm living right now, I just saw something on the news that a $9 million house, that's a year, it was like 13 months, the owners lived in this house. It was overnight, over $9 million for this house. They have to move out. The wife and the kids started getting sick. Unexplained sicknesses, this and that. Long story short, they go ripping up the walls, ripping up the floors. This $9 million house was fucking mold everywhere. $9 million house that's less than 2 years old is covered in mold. It makes me really want to advise people to go out there and literally brick by brick build your own shit. Homes, we're talking about like buying houses and stuff in this reading. It's not worth it. They're not worth it. The older houses, there's a lot of, you know, things you need to look out for, you know. Foundation, is it on a flat foundation? The piping, everything, top to bottom, everything. And also the newer houses, like, I almost want to really advise you guys to like build your own. Or if you hire a place to build, you might want to be a part of that build, step by step. Money does not buy everything. Just because people out here have money, that doesn't guarantee. Look at King of Swords. Be the bitch. Be upfront and personal when it comes to your money. Money doesn't buy guarantee. It just, you know what money buys? It buys people being like nice in your face, okay? Yeah, I saw that on the news. $9 million house, and their kids are sick from mold that they couldn't see. 10 of Wands. King of Swords, 10 of Wands. I just feel like this energy of like great responsibility, and also being really mindful of inspections, maybe like home inspections. Ace of Swords, yeah. The best way to choose a home inspector is like you want somebody that's been in the game for some time, but not too long because you don't want them cocky. You know what I'm saying? But also with that too is question every step of the way. Question the home inspector. And if the home inspector has a problem with you questioning them, fire them. That's it. That's it. Any professional you hire that has a problem with your questions, or if you're going to buy a car or going to buy anything that's a big purchase and they're getting annoyed with you asking questions, literally get up and walk out. Okay? Page of coins. Yeah, I feel like there's something with, like, I'm here to encourage and inspire you guys to be, like, sharp. Okay. Yeah, Four of Wands. It has something to do with the home. So I know there's a lot of people out here, it's like, you know, if you do own a home, you know how hard it was to get there. If you don't own a home yet, or again, then you're like, you know, to get into a house, it's like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, or whatever. But be aware of what you're really getting into. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Or should you buy land and learn how to make bricks, literally, and learn how to build a house? like that's where we're at nowadays. Okay, the moon, something. Also too, you know, watching these like places go up, it's like all wood. What is that called? Like wood panels, like all wood panels, 3 stories of wood panels. And it's like, people are paying millions of dollars. Like a huff and a puff and I'll blow your house down. Like, wait, what are we talking about here? Ace of Swords, Four of Wands, the moon. Maybe some of you out here like spent your whole life savings on a home and it turned out to be like, you know, making you sick in a way. Physically, mentally, like, or something's underneath or behind the walls. Not to get you guys all spooky dooky, but it's real. It's really real. I bought a house cash, paid an inspector, found out 4 days later, we got 4 people in the chat, okay? True story. 4 days after buying a house cash, I smelled something. Because I could smell really good. I'm like, come to find out, the inspector fucking missed something. The inspector that I paid a lot of money to missed the fact that underneath the bathroom flooring, the floorboards were rotting. Like rotting. There's more to that story, but I'm just giving you guys a truthful, factual example of you could do everything right. You can save for however long, put money away, keep your credit great, do this, do that, hire the inspector, great neighborhood, this, get a good, whatever. You could do everything fucking right and shit can go wrong, okay? I feel like I need to encourage you guys to invest in yourself, believe in yourself, and learn how to do everything yourself. Okay. Everybody, 9 out of 10 professionals out here are, you know, they're, okay? You have to be ready to take accountability. Death. Hi, beautiful. Hello. Now we got the death. All right, like closing that out. Okay. Close that out. Move forward. Now we got, what is this? 5 of Wands. Oh my God. Now we got a headache right here. Maybe some of you guys get like migraines or some shit. Literally started throbbing the second I saw that. Justice. Maybe you guys are in some type of legal. My best legal advice is Never enter into a legal situation unless you know you're going to win. Okay? Of course, you could sit down with a lawyer and be like, oh, yeah, we got a case here, this and that, and you're paying. No. Go to a psychic. No, really, though. Go to a psychic. Don't mention anything about a legal case to the psychic. Okay? And if they don't mention it, you know, go to, I don't know, the Lovers. What's that about? Yeah, the best way to win a legal case is to not enter it if you're not going to win. The Empress. That's some serious advice right there. Okay? Even if you have experienced a situation that was unjust, like I just explained, like a really financial serious situation that was unjust, I decided not to take any legal route. It wasn't worth my time. It wasn't worth my time and my money. I'll just hex their timeline for the rest of my life. No, I'm joking. Temperance. Yeah, but there's something with that. Something with it advising the viewers that if it's not a guarantee you're going to win a legal situation, don't even enter into it. Sometimes it's not about the principle, outwardly. And also, too, then there's always going to be a legal record of your name attached to something. Play your cards right, people. Play your cards right, or don't play them at all. Okay? The justice system, for any of you that aren't aware, at least here in America, it's not what you know or what's right, it's who you know and how much money you have. Okay? So basically, like, if you're not the right dick, then you're not going to win the case, most likely. You know? I don't know. Allegedly. Who knows? Who knows? Be careful entering into any legal situations. Okay, and then we got the Temperance, the Fool. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, maybe some of you are entering a legal situation, be like, I am and I will win. Okay? Now the Ten of Cups. Nice. King of Swords. Know your rights. Know your rights. Know your statute of limitation. Know your rights. Something, I'm hearing that song, Walking on Sunshine. I feel like some of you are going to like go into an establishment somewhere and hear that song when you walk in. You're going to hear Walking on Sunshine. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to feel good. Six of Wands. Okay, a win. Okay, there we go. If any of you are in a legal battle situation, somebody fucked you over one way or another, whatever it is, I feel like there could be many things. I don't know. You're definitely going to win. Just like I said, before entering into a situation, do not enter into a situation unless you know you're going to win. Beyond a reasonable doubt, okay? Also, too, I've been picking up on this energy the other day, something about the red priestess. A red priestess. Like somebody hiring a red priestess, like on the Game of Thrones, you know? He hired the red priestess and she convinced him to sacrifice his daughter. We're talking about the Game of Thrones, okay? Something on these terms of be careful what you wish for, because you might win in one sense, but what is it going to cost you? Like, really, what is it going to cost you? Like, what do you have to sacrifice for this win? You know? Yeah, Five of Cups. What's this about? Now I'm getting the feeling of the castle again. King of Coins. Also, eyeballs bleeding. What are we talking about? Okay, what are we talking about? Have a nice day. Hello, beautiful. Hi. You're boundlessly pure. Thank you. She's the boss. Candlelight 12. Thank you so much. Just came for another channel. Okay. John Prince. Oh, I remember your name. I remember your name. Satan is lost a long time ago. It doesn't stop him from trying. Him, her. Don't always assume Satan's a man, okay? Satan could be your mother or your brother or your sister. All right? Ace of Wands. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Okay. Eight of Coins. Okay, keep working, girl. All right, I'm going to log off of this and I'm going to sign back on because I need to read for Sagittarius and Aries. All right, deuces.